So today we'll be talking about the chemical tests that you perform, various chemical tests performing for different constituents that are present in urine, specifically chemical analysis. Now there are 4 or 5 different things that you will check for in urine. You'll check urine for proteins, for glucose, for ketones, bile derivatives, and for blood. Bile derivatives, bile salts, and other bile products. Bile acids will also come in bile derivatives. First of all, coming to tests for proteins. Now, whenever you're performing tests for proteins, you can perform both qualitative test and quantitative test. Okay, to find out how much, what type of protein is present, so that you can assess the quality of the protein, and you can perform a quantitative test to find out how much amount of protein is present. Okay, in a way, qualitative test can also give you the amount of quantity based on which test you are applying. For example, let's suppose one test for qualitative test. Okay. One test for quality will be heat and acetic acid test. Okay, one commonly applied test, heat and acetic acetic acid test. ठीक है, इसमें क्या करते हैं, you'll heat the protein. So normally what happens is, whenever proteins are labile, ठीक है, they will get destroyed if they are heated. Now as such, once you heat proteins, they will undergo coagulation. This we already know. So what you do is, you take a 5 ml test tube. Okay, this is a 5 ml test tube, and in this test tube you will fill a urine. Okay, almost 2/3 of the test tube you'll fill with urine. Let's suppose around 3 ml, 3.5 ml. Okay, now once you have added urine, if the urine is alkaline, you will test for the pH of urine. If the urine is alkaline, in that condition, what you will do is, you will add a little bit of acetic acid. Specifically, you will add glacial acetic acid. Take a 10% glacial acetic acid, so that the urine is acidified, so that the pH of the urine is decreased. Now once you have this acidic urine, what you will do is, you will heat this. Because specifically, you will take a burner, and you will heat only the upper part of this test tube, rather than rather than heating the lower part. This is done because you are making this part, the lower part, as control. Okay. So what you're doing is, you're taking a 5 ml test tube, in that you're pouring 2/3 of the test tube's volume with urine, and only the top part you'll heat, the lower part you will not heat. There is flame here, and over this flame you will heat that test tube, only the upper part. Okay. Once you have boiled it, if precipitation or turbidity appears, okay, you will add a little bit of acetic acid. 10% acetic acid should be added. If a turbidity appears, if precipitation or turbidity is seen, in that case add a little bit of acetic acid. Okay, the if the turbidity or precipitation disappears on addition of acetic acid, okay, it is due to phosphates. Once what do you call, once you are seeing a little bit of turbidity and you add a little bit of acetic acid, if suppose it disappears immediately after you add acetic acid, you know that it is not due to proteins, but it is due to phosphates. On the other hand, if the precipitate stays for a longer period of time, even after you have added acetic acid, that precipitate is there, it means that that precipitate is because of proteins. Okay. Now, depending on the amount of proteins, you will see different degree of precipitation, and you will see different degree of turbidity. Okay. Depending on the amount of proteins, the results will be interpreted. So what you did is, you took a test tube, you filled it up 2/3 with urine, and if it is alkaline, add a little bit of glacial acetic acid. If it is already acidic, you don't need to add that. You can directly heat it. Okay, you only heat the upper part of the test tube, and you keep the lower part as control. Once a little bit of turbidity or precipitate appears, you will add a little bit of acetic acid, 10% acetic acid, few drops of them. If the precipitate which was formed upon heating is staying, it means that it is because of proteins. If it disappears once you add acetic acid, it means that it was because of phosphates rather than proteins. Now the interpretation of this test will be like this. So interpretation, if there is no cloudiness or no turbidity, there are no proteins. ठीक है, negative for proteins. If cloudiness, you can see cloudiness against a dark background. ठीक है, cloudiness is seen against a dark background. So normally you'll not be able to see it with naked eye. If you are putting it against a dark background, only then you can see it. Okay, against a dark background, this means that there are traces of protein, so less than 0.1 grams per dl in urine. Okay, in the urine sample that you have taken. Then if there is granularity, without granularity, if there is cloudiness without granularity, meaning you're not able to see any granules, but there is cloudiness. Okay, more cloudiness so that you can just see it with naked eye without putting it against a dark background. Okay, this will indicate that the protein level is around 0.1 to 0.2 grams per dl. Okay, now if you can see granular cloudiness, if you can see proper granules in the test tube, cloudiness, this indicates that the patient has quite a lot of what do you call, protein. So more than 0.2 grams per dl. No cloudiness is seen against this thing, cloudiness without granularity. Okay. Then you will have, if precipitation is occurring, this is more than 0.2 but less than 0.3. Okay, so close to 0.2 itself. Granular cloudiness is somewhat close to 0.2. अगर समझो precipitation is occurring, proper precipitate is formed, in that case there is a lot of protein in your urine, 0.2 to 0.4 grams per deciliter. Okay, and if you see a thick solid precipitate, that indicates that the patient has almost 0.5 grams per dl of protein. Okay, so these are the interpretations that you can get from the qualitative test. Even though you're performing a qualitative test, you can tell how much amount of protein is present in the sample. Now you can do another test. It is much more reliable than heat acetic acid test. What you do is you will use sulfur salicylic acid. So this test is called sulfur salicylic acid test. For salicylic acid test. Okay, इसमें क्या करते हैं, you will initially make the urine acidic by adding a little bit of acetic acid, and you will take 2 ml of urine. So in a test tube, this is acidic urine. Okay, you will take 2 ml of urine. Okay, to this urine you will add a few drops, 4 to 5 drops of sulfur salicylic acid of 20% sulfur salicylic acid. Okay, once you add this, if turbidity appears and it persists, if you heat, ठीक है, आप क्या कर रहे हैं, you are taking a small test tube and you are adding 2 ml of urine. ठीक है, you make sure that the urine is already acidic. To that you add 4 to 5 drops of sulfur salicylic acid and you heat the solution. Once you heat it, let's suppose that turbidity is staying, even before heating, let's suppose a little bit of turbidity is appearing, and after you heat, even still that turbidity is staying, it means that proteins are present inside the patient's urine. Okay, so that you can perform further evaluation of that. Now, coming to the causes why protein can be seen. Now, depending on different problems, you will see heavy proteinuria, or you might see moderate proteinuria, or you might see mild proteinuria. Okay. So, first of all, coming to how will you interpret what this amount of protein that is being seen in urine, what does that indicate? See, normally very little amount of protein should be present in your urine. Okay. Normal amount of protein, normal amount of protein in urine is roughly less than 150 mg per dl, rather than 150 mg per day. This much amount is excreted out of your urine in one day. In 24 hours, if you collect the whole output of the patient, you should not see more than 150 mg of protein in the patient's urine. Okay? If the patient is having heavy proteinuria कब रहता? Heavy proteinuria, this is when the patient is excreting more than 3 grams per day. ठीक है, बी केयरफुल, ये 150 mg पर डे है, ये 3 ग्राम्स पर डे है, तो सिग्निफिकेंटली हायर. ठीक है, उसको हैवी प्रोटीन यूरिया बोलते हैं. हैवी प्रोटीन यूरिया विल अकर इन किडनी प्रॉब्लम्स, सिवियर किडनी प्रॉब्लम्स लाइक नेफ्रोटिक सिंड्रोम, या फिर the patient has diabetes mellitus, या they have renal vein thrombosis, or they have SLE, systemic lupus erythematosus. In all of those conditions, the patient will start excreting a lot of proteins in their urine, indicating that there is severe damage to your kidneys and to other cells in your body, because of which protein, a byproduct of cellular damage, is coming into your urine. Okay? That is one. Then we have moderate proteinuria. Moderate protein urea will be around 1 to 3 grams per day. Now, moderate protein urea will generally be seen in chronic glomerulonephritis. Okay? You can see it in nephrosclerosis. You can see it in pyelonephritis. If there is infection of your kidney, generally from UTI, if it is going up, then pyelonephritis occurs. Yeah, for the patient has cancer, multiple myeloma type of cancer. In that case, you can see 1 to 3 grams of protein in the patient's urine. Then you have mild proteinuria. Mild proteinuria is when you have less than 1 gram per day. Okay, normal is still way less. Okay, normal is 150 mg, less than 150 mg per day. Mild proteinuria still is almost 4 5 times higher. 4 5 yeah, actually 6 times higher than, a little more than 6 times higher than normal. ठीक है, 150 mg अगर नॉर्मल है तो 6 टाइम्स उसका 900 mg रहता है, तो 6 टाइम्स से बढ़ के हो रहा. दैट इज व्हेन यू क्लासिफाई इट एज माइल्ड प्रोटीन. Heavy proteinuria will, it will be when it is 20 times higher than normal. ठीक है, mild proteinuria generally occurs in fever, या फिर the patient has UTI या polycystic kidney, या the patient has high blood pressure, hypertension, या polycyst, ये chronic pyelonephritis है patient को. In all of those conditions, they will have mild proteinuria. You can see microalbuminuria as well. Generally what will happen is around 20 to 200 milligrams of albumin in 1 liter of urine can be seen if a patient is having microalbuminuria. It will generally indicate that the patient is having glomerular damage, reversible glomerular damage. Agar albumin, if you remember when we were discussing about glomerulonephritis, I told you it will start off with albuminuria. ठीक है, selective proteinuria होता where only albumin is coming out, then non-selective proteinuria हो रहा where albumin and globulin will be lost, and eventually damage starts getting accumulated. Generally microalbuminuria will indicate that the patient is going towards kidney damage. ठीक है, slowly developing glomerulonephritis, and they are going towards more severe type of kidney damage. Anyway, that is about proteins in urine. Now, coming to test for glucosuria, or test for glucose in urine, okay, or test for sugars as such. Test for glucosuria. Now, glucose is the most important sugar that you will find in urine as such. This is because it will indicate several problems, especially diabetes. Okay, now normally in a patient's urine in 24 hours, normal glucose in 24 hours. Okay, normal excretion of glucose in 24 hours will be roughly around 130 milligrams, not more than 130 milligrams. 130 milligrams in one day will be passed through urine. ठीक है, generally आपके जो भी qualitative tests रहते हैं, they are not sensitive enough to what you call test this much amount, because let's suppose the patient is excreting around 1.1500 ml of urine in a day. Like I told you, the normal volume is 700 to 2500. So let's suppose the patient is voiding 1500 ml. अब अगर एक नॉर्मल पेशेंट है विच इज excreting only 130 mg of glucose in one day, it means that you are diluting 130 mg in 1500 ml, meaning it will be very very hard to test for that. बहुत छोटा अमाउंट है वो, एंड यू विल नॉट जनरली डिटेक्ट इट इन टेस्ट. ठीक है. द मेन इंपॉर्टेंट टेस्ट दैट यू विल डू फॉर ग्लूकोसूरिया will be Benedict's test. Okay, Benedict's test जो है, it will involve something called Benedict's reagent where you use copper. Now, as such, what will happen in the test is cupric ion जो है, that ion gets reduced. Okay, that ion starts getting electrons, and it will be reduced by glucose, because glucose is a reducing sugar. Cupric ion will be reduced to cupric oxide, and that cupric oxide will form a color. ठीक है. आप क्या करते हैं टेस्ट में, इन बेनेडिक्ट टेस्ट. सो द फर्स्ट टेस्ट, दिस इज अ क्वालिटेटिव टेस्ट. ओके, बेनेडिक्ट टेस्ट में क्या करते हैं, यू विल टेक 5 ml ऑफ बेनेडिक्ट रिएजेंट. ठीक है, इन वन टेस्ट ट्यूब. सो यू हैव वन सेकेंड, you have a test tube and you're taking a little bit of Benedict's reagent in this. Okay, 5 ml of Benedict's reagent in this, and in this you add a little bit of urine. You specifically add 8 to 10 drops. ठीक है, जनरली 8 ड्रॉप्स ही यूज करते हैं, रफली अराउंड हाफ एन एम एल. ठीक है, 0.5 ml. ठीक है, you will need a pipette for this. In any case, you will add a few drops of urine into this tube, and you will heat it, or specifically you will boil it for 2 minutes. ठीक है, so boil for 2 minutes. ठीक है, once you boil it, cool it down with water, or you can run it down, running water. ठीक है, tap water के अंदर भी रख सकते हैं आप. What you will see is change in color depending on the amount of glucose, or the depending on the amount of sugar that is present in the sample of urine. You will get different colors. Okay, I'll show you one image, one second. See, this is the interpretation of Benedict's reagent test. Benedict's reagent test में आप जब क्या बोलते हैं, cupric ion is getting reduced to other forms, cupric oxide specifically, depending on the amount of glucose that is present, you will start getting different colors. जितना कम रहा, you will have, see, अगर blue color आ रहा, तो there will be no sugar present. If there is no sugar in urine, no detectable sugar. Okay, अगर there is no detectable sugar, then it will be blue. As the concentration increases, concentration of glucose or any other sugar increases, you will have change in color. So initially it will be green, a little more concentration yellow, a little more concentration orangish red, very high concentration it will be high. ठीक है, this high generally represents that there is 2 grams per dl. यहाँ पर 2 grams percentage लिखा, but it brick red generally represents that there is 2 grams per deciliter of sugar present in the patient's urine. So quite high. Okay, now you'll be able to see all reducing sugars with this. इसका मतलब ये है कि you can check for glucose, you can check for fructose, maltose या lactose, but not for sucrose. Sucrose is not a reducing sugar. Okay, so keep bear that in mind. Benedict's test will only work for reducing sugars, because the principle involves in reduction of cupric ion. Cupric ion is a component of Benedict's reagent. Okay, then we have a quantitative test. Quantitative test में आप क्या करते हैं? So this was the qualitative test. Quantitative test. Quantitative test for glucose, what you will do is you will take 25 ml of Benedict's reagent. This is a slightly different reagent. You will take quantitative Benedict's reagent. Take 25 ml of quantitative Benedict's reagent. ठीक है, in you will take it in a conical flask. Okay, and to this you will add sodium carbonate. You will add crystals of sodium carbonate. So you are taking it in a conical flask. ऐसा रहता conical flask. ठीक है, इसमें you have 25 ml of 25 ml of Benedict's reagent. ठीक है, Now to this you are adding a few crystals of sodium carbonate. You are adding this uh, roughly around 15 grams. Okay, a couple of crystals. Now once you have added this, add a small piece of porcelain. Okay, I'll draw porcelain using light blue because we do not have cannot see white on this. Suppose this is that porcelain piece. Okay. अब ये पोर्सलेन डालने के बाद what you will do is you will boil the whole solution. Once you have added Benedict's reagent and sodium carbonate and porcelain, you will heat it. Once you have boiled it, you will add urine. You will use a burette and slowly drip it down till you see blue color. ठीक है, आप क्या करते हैं? You will take a burette. So one second. ब्यूरेट के एक एंड से आप स्लोली क्या करते हैं? यू विल स्टार्ट पोरिंग डाउन इट थ्रू द वर्टिकल वॉल ऑफ द टेस्ट ट्यूब. द आइडिया इज दैट यहाँ पर आप वॉल से भी कर सकते हैं या बीच से भी कर सकते हैं. ड्रॉप बाय ड्रॉप यू स्टार्ट पुटिंग अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ यूरिन इन दिस. ठीक है, यहाँ से आप यूरिन ड्रॉप कर रहे हैं. So the burette. Now you are waiting for the appearance of blue color in Benedict's reagent. Once you have heated this and you start putting urine, at one point of time, what will happen is, as you keep putting more and more drops of urine, you will start seeing that this solution will turn blue. Okay. Once it is turning blue, stop and what do you call? Note down how much amount of urine was required to turn this solution into blue. Okay, you're taking a conical flask, you're adding 25 ml of quantitative Benedict's reagent, you're adding 15 grams of sodium carbonate and a porcelain piece. You boil the whole solution. Once you boil it, you will add drop by drop, you'll start adding urine. ठीक है, once you keep adding urine at one particular volume of urine, what will happen is that Benedict's reagent, the whole solution will turn blue. You will note down how much amount of urine is required for that particular change. ठीक है, जो blue color बनने के लिए urine की requirement थी, how much amount of volume of urine was required to turn that solution into blue, you will find that out. Let's suppose that amount of urine is around 10 ml. ठीक है, let's suppose while putting it through the burette you put around 10 ml of urine at 10 ml volume or 10 ml mark. You see that the solution is turning blue. Now with this you can calculate the amount of glucose present in urine. So amount of glucose in urine will be equal to 0.05 into 100 divided by amount of urine. So this amount of urine will basically be your 10 ml. ठीक है, यहाँ पर the total amount of urine that is present in the total amount of urine that is required to turn the solution into blue. So for example अगर मैं ये solution से करा तो 5/10. ठीक है, इसका मतलब ये है the person's urine has 0.5 grams per deciliter of urine. ठीक है, it sorry 0.5 grams per deciliter of glucose in their urine. This is how you interpret it. ठीक है, normally the conversion is that 0.05 grams of glucose reduces 25 ml of Benedict's reagent. ठीक है, that is the conversion, that is the basis for this formula, that is why we are taking 0.05 here. ठीक है, you have a glucose that 0.05 grams of glucose is able to reduce 25 ml of Benedict's reagent. Once reduction is occurring, that is when change in color occurs. अब आप क्या कर रहे हैं? As you are putting down urine, you are testing how much amount of glucose is required to change that solution. ठीक है, at one particular concentration, color of that Benedict's reagent will change. वो concentration can be represented by the total ml of urine that was required till the change in reagent occurred. ठीक है, उसको आप ये formula में feed करके you'll be able to find out how much amount of glucose the patient's urine has. Now what causes glucosuria? Diabetes mellitus या फिर renal glucosuria या फिर there is severe burns, pregnancy या फिर severe sepsis Yeah, if the patient is on corticosteroids, in all of these conditions, you will see increased amount of glucose in the patient's urine. Okay. Now, coming to ketonuria, test for ketonuria. So you're basically testing for ketones. Now, ketones are a byproduct of incomplete fat metabolism. ठीक है, fat when it is not getting metabolized completely, midway अगर stop हो जा रहा तो you will end up with ketones. There are primarily three important ketone bodies. Three ketone bodies. Okay, these in urine. These are the three that you will generally find. One is acetoacetic acid. Okay, around 20% of total ketones in your urine will be acetoacetic acid. Then acetone, this is 2%. Okay, and beta hydroxybutyric acid. This is 78%. So majority of ketones that are present in the person's urine will be beta hydroxyacetic acid, a little bit of a little concentration of acetone and 20% of acetoacetic acid. These are the three forms of ketone. ठीक है, आप मेनली कीटोन्यूरिया के लिए यू कैन यूज रिएजेंट स्ट्रिप टेस्ट और यू कैन यूज रोथरा टेस्ट और यू कैन यूज जहाल्ट टेस्ट. ठीक है, विल गो विथ रोथरा टेस्ट. अब रोथरा टेस्ट में क्या करते हैं आप? ठीक है, ketones when they combine with any alkaline solution of sodium nitroprusside, they will form a purple colored complex. ठीक है, so you are checking for that purple colored ring. Specifically what will happen is you take a test tube and you take 5 ml of urine. ठीक है, once you take 5 ml of urine you will saturate it with sodium ammonium sulfate. So you will add sodium ammonium sulfate. This is a salt. Okay, you will add sodium ammonium sulfate into this solution and you will add a few crystals of sodium nitroprusside. ठीक है, ये दोनों ऐड करने के बाद you will shake the test tube. You are taking 5 ml of urine, you will add sodium ammonium sulfate salt and you will add sodium nitroprusside and a few crystals of sodium nitroprusside and you shake it. ठीक है, once you have shaken it, add liquor of ammonia. ठीक है, liquor ammonia जो है you will add from the side of the test tube. It will be drops liquid रहता वो, थोड़े थोड़े drops slowly you will drip it down through the side of the test tube. ठीक है, you will wait till appearance of purple color ring. ठीक है, what will happen is at the junction of this, जहाँ पर यूरिन जंक्शन है, this part you will start seeing a purple colored ring. ठीक है, that purple colored ring indicates that there are ketones present inside the patient's urine. Okay, I'll repeat once again. You are taking a test tube. In that, you are pouring 5 ml of the patient's urine sample. You are testing for ketones. Okay, in Rothera test. Now you will saturate this particular urine solution, urine with sodium ammonium sulfate salt and with sodium nitroprusside, a few crystals of sodium nitroprusside, and you will shake it. Eventually, you will start adding liquor ammonia. Okay, so liquor ammonia. Once you add liquor ammonia, at one point of time, what will happen is at the junction where the liquid meets air, at that junction, you will see a purple colored ring that indicates the presence of ketones. Now, when do you see ketones? Ketones are seen in urine, especially in one condition called DKA, diabetic ketoacidosis. Specifically, when ketone bodies are being excreted in your urine and ketone levels in your blood go up, you will see ketonemia, and the patient might even undergo coma sometimes. Okay, that is one condition. In case of hyper dehydration, या फिर fever, या the patient is being given general anesthesia के बाद generally ketone body level increase हो जाता है urine में. Or it can be a complication of pregnancy called hyperemesis gravidarum. Hyperemesis gravidarum is a condition in which the pregnant lady will have severe nausea, vomiting and weight loss. Sometimes they might also have dehydration. ठीक है. In all of these conditions you will see increased ketonuria in the patient. All right. Now coming to test for bile derivatives. Test for bile derivatives in urine. There are three main bile derivatives that you see. Okay, you'll see urobilinogen, you will see bile salts and bile pigments. Okay, uh, three bile derivatives in urine. These include bile salts, bile acids, and urobilinogen. ठीक है, urobilinogen being the pigment that gives urine its characteristic color. अब आपके जो टेस्ट करेंगे आप स्पेसिफिकली इफ बाइल सॉल्ट्स के लिए कर रहे, बाइल सॉल्ट्स दो टाइप के रहते हैं आपके यूरिन में. यू विल फाइंड कोलिक एसिड एंड कीनोडिऑक्सीकोलिक एसिड. ठीक है, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आपके बाइल सॉल्ट्स के लिए अगर आप चेक कर रहे हैं, सो दे आर टू टाइप्स. देयर इज कोलिक एसिड. ठीक है, इवन दो दे आर मेंशन्ड एज एसिड, दे आर एक्चुअली सॉल्ट्स. ओके, कीनोडिऑक्सीकोलिक एसिड, these are the two bile salts that are present. अब ये bile salts and bile acids are interchangeable. You will add a particular organic material to them and they'll become acids or salts. ठीक है, acid will become into salt. Now when you are trying to test for this, you'll form a test like Hayes test. Hayes test में क्या करते हैं? See, bile salts have the property of lowering surface tension. Whenever you add it to any solution, a salt is responsible for lowering surface tension. Bile acids, bile salts and bile acids का काम ये रहता आपके body में when they are secreted, they are lowering the surface tension of fats and of the food content that you eat so that they can be digested easily. यहाँ पर once you take urine, ठीक है, you'll take a 50 ml or 100 ml beaker. ठीक है, in, let me draw a little bit bigger. Let's suppose you take a 50 ml beaker. 50 ml beaker में आप 2/3 यूरिन भर देते. ठीक है, once you are adding this, what you will do is you will add a little bit of sulfur powder. You'll simply sprinkle a little bit of sulfur. That is the test. Okay, once you sprinkle test, you will see what is happening. अगर bile salts present है urine में, because they are lowering pH of that urine, sulfur will sink down. ठीक है, if the patient's urine has bile salts, colic acid and कीनोडीऑक्सीकोलिक acid, this sulfur will start coming down. ठीक है, it will settle down. अगर bile salts present नहीं है, then that sulfur will float on the surface. That is the interpretation of the test. Okay, you'll mainly see bile salts in urine if the patient is suffering from obstructive jaundice. Okay, so that is the test. That is the only test that you use. Hayes test, the significant test. Okay, there are other tests as well, but this is the most simple one and the most commonly used one. Then if you're testing for urobilinogen, now urobilinogen will be present in a very small quantity. Normally in urine around 4 mg is excreted every day. ठीक है, 4 mg per 24 hours, very small quantity. Or this thing is light sensitive, so whenever you are collecting a sample, if you want to try to test for urobilinogen, make sure that you are collecting in a dark colored bottle. ठीक है, जो amber colored bottles मिलते हैं ना, वो bottle में collect करना, because urobilinogen is light sensitive. Upon exposure to light, it will get destroyed, so you will not get a proper result. So specifically for this, you will use a test called Eilrichs test when you are doing for urobilinogen. Okay, we have Eilrichs test. Eilrichs test में क्या करते हैं? See, the principle is that urobilinogen in urine will combine with aldehyde. Eilrichs reagent जो रहता है उसमें जो aldehyde रहता, it will combine with urobilinogen and you will get a red purple color. ठीक है, reddish purple colored compound will be seen. So what you do is you take 10 ml of urine, you take a test tube and you take 10 ml of urine. ठीक है। इन दैट यू विल ऐड Alrix reagent, ठीक है। Alric का जो reagent रहता, that about 1 ml you will add, ठीक है। once you have added this, just wait for 3 to 5 minutes. You will see reddish purple color development. If there is reddish purple color that is developing, it represents that there is a lot of urobilinogen present inside the patient's urine. अगर urobilinogen significantly present नहीं है, you will not see reddish purple color. You might see a faint red color. If the patient has a high amount of urobilinogen in their urine, it indicates that the patient, you will see a dark reddish and purplish discoloration of the sample, ठीक है। जो टेस्ट ट्यूब में यूरिन है, it will turn very dark red and purplish. Now, mainly increase in urobilinogen more than 4 mg in one day will occur if the patient is having hemolytic jaundice. If RBCs are being broken down, if that is the cause of jaundice, that is when the patient will have increased amount of hemoglobin. Even if the patient is suffering from hemolytic anemia, anything dealing with hemolysis, that will generally tend to increase urobilinogen in the patient. If there is no urobilinogen altogether, it indicates that the patient is suffering from obstructive jaundice. Okay, there should be some urobilinogen, it should not be completely absent. Okay, now we'll discuss about the last one. We'll test for bile pigment. Okay, bile pigment के लिए there is one specific test called Faucher's test. There are other tests as well. You can perform foam test and you can perform reagent test. जो bile pigment bilirubin के लिए आप टेस्ट करेंगे, bilirubin is a byproduct of hemoglobin. hemoglobin को ब्रेक करके biliverdin बनता है, biliverdin से you will have bilirubin being formed. Faucher's test में आप क्या करते हैं? The principle is that ferric chloride, FeCl2. This fellow will oxidize bilirubin and you will get green colored biliverdin. So for this, what you do is you take a test tube with 10 ml urine. Okay. To this test tube, you will add barium chloride, BaCl2. Okay. You will add 10% barium chloride, around 3 to 5 ml. Okay. This will go ahead. 3 to 5 ml of barium chloride will be added to it. And once you have added BaCl2, shake the test tube a little bit and filter it out. ठीक है, आप क्या करते हैं, एक conical funnel लेके, in this you will add the filtering paper. So I'll do that filtering paper with a different color. Let's suppose this is your filtering paper, and once you added this filtering paper, you will put the solution in it. Okay, you will pour the urine in this. Once you have filtered the content out, okay, the precipitate that is left on the filter paper, you will take the filter paper like this. Okay, whatever precipitate is present here, okay, this precipitate you will add a little bit of Faucher's reagent. Once you add Faucher's reagent, you will see that it will become pista green, और technically parrot green या pista green बन जाता है ये, ठीक है। If you actually perform the test, you will see that it is becoming greenish in color, the whole thing. That indicates that there is what you call bilirubin present in the patient's urine, ठीक है। Green color will be seen only if biliverdin is present. Bilirubin अगर biliverdin convert हुआ, that is when you start seeing green discoloration, ठीक है। That is the test. Now bilirubin generally, see, normally your urine will not have any bilirubin. It should not be present. You will have urobilinogen, but no bilirubin as such in urine. Bilirubin अगर है तो it is because of obstructive jaundice or it is because of hepatocellular jaundice, ठीक है। Those are the two main problems. If they are occurring in the patient's what you call liver, that is when you will start seeing bilirubin in the patient's urine, ठीक है। I will discuss about the test for blood and urine tomorrow, right? How you will test for blood and urine.